Alright, hello everybody, it's Dr. Conroy here once again, and today I'm here with a different kind of video. Now, for those of us who are model railroaders, and are especially fans of the Bachmann Thomas and Friends range, I'm sure we all have our own little thoughts and ideas of which characters we'd like to see be made and become models. And in my case, that's what I'm doing today. I'm showcasing to you the characters I'd like to see get made into Bachmann models. So today, this is my Bachmann wish list. I hope you enjoy. But just quickly before we start, I should like to point out that before anybody asks if anybody's unaware, granted there may be some characters I would like to see as Hornby models, but the thing is Hornby don't make their Thomas and Friends range anymore, and they haven't done so for a while now. So those kind of considerations will not be discussed. As far as a decent Thomas and Friends range go, it's entirely down to Bachmann right now, as they by far make the best ones. So, without any further ado, here we go. This list is in no particular order like a top 10 list, but I have written one beforehand and I have it with me, so I'll just casually read off and go down the list and tell you about which characters I'd like to see made. Starting with Madok. Now, Madok is a very nice engine in terms of character design. He's very big, very strong, and to be fair, I think Bachmann could adapt this very well. Like, I can easily see it being one of the biggest in the range, maybe even more so than Gordon. And let's be honest, we need a new Madok out there, one that's more affordable and easier to get a hold of, because the Hornby Madok in itself is rare, and let me tell you, from looking for myself, the results are not cheap. And when I say it's expensive, I'm talking evil levels of expensive. I mean, seriously, like, look at that. Who's going to pay that much for a model train unless they're just Bruce Wayne and have money out the wazoo that they know what to do with? Granted, Bachmann's not exactly cheap either, but you're not even going to pay a quarter of a fraction of that amount of money for a Madok if they were to make one, so yeah, by all means, having a newly readily available Madok, that would certainly be good, thank you very much. If you're watching this, Bachmann, hello, please make Madok, please, pretty please with a cherry on top. Now this next engine is one of the more obscure ones, but it's one of my personal favourites nonetheless. If Bachmann were to make some new models and put them out there, one I'd definitely love to see is Arthur. Arthur's a very nice tank engine. He's quite unique amongst the characters for, hardly ever doing anything wrong, and his livery is very nice too, and that is just a very unique tank engine. I love that basis, and I do remember having a motor road and rail and Arthur, which was quite a good one and one of my favourites, but to have Bachmann actually make one, that would be so cool. It'd be like the ultimate upgrade. If that's basically what model railroading is to me, like, I had all the motor road and rails, which definitely were fine for a kid like me, but once you go into the model railway business, whether it's double O, G or N scale, it's basically just a strict upgrade. And it'll also be nice if characters like Arthur do get made, then that way it'll bring some obscure characters into a new light, and fans can do as they please with them as they make up their own stories. So, yeah, Arthur would certainly be nice. And now we're moving on up with another obscure character, but it's a diesel this one, and another one who's always been a favourite of mine, Boco. Now that I actually think of it, I don't think Boco's ever had like an electric model made of him in any shape or form, because I don't recall Hornby making one, and I certainly know that Bachmann haven't made one. And even though Hornby have produced the tooling for Boco, I think, they haven't actually made it such, and now they're never going to get the chance to. And Boco's one of those where he is just cruelly underused in the TV show. I mean, I don't think he's appeared since series 4 or 5, I want to say. Because of just what a good character Boco is and how distinctive he is amongst the Thomas fandom, that is just wrong how underused that is. Like, they should have reintroduced him into CGI at some point. But regardless, once again, if Bachmann were to make this character, it would bring some new light to him, and I would certainly be up for it. And I'd certainly pay good money for it too. And this one has to be a definite for me, especially as I'm looking to, at the time of making this video, get started with 009 scale and have the narrow gauge bunch run alongside the standard gauge bunch as you see in the show. I would definitely love to see Duke get made in a Bachmann form. Having seen the Bachmann narrow gauge bunch for myself, at least those who have been made so far, they've just looked consistently good, and I can just imagine them doing Duke really well if they had the opportunity to make him, and it'd be great to have him to run alongside Peter Sam, and once he gets made, as we know he's coming, to handle. And I can certainly see fans taking some creative liberties with them by redoing them into Stuart and Falcon and really recreating the old stories. And much like Boco, Duke is just another one of those where he is just criminally underused. I mean, can you just imagine how great it would be if they had him back as they did, and he can play a mentor to not only Peter Sam and Sir Handel, but to some of the other younger narrow gauge engines as well. And, well, Duke would certainly be able to keep Duncan in his place, that's for sure. So yes, a Duke I'd certainly like to have. Now this one is a definite. Come on Bachmann, let's do it. Let's have a Diesel 10. Diesel 10 has always just been one of the best designed diesels ever, from the bases they chose to him to his claw. And if Diesel 10 did get made, I can certainly imagine them doing something different, which no Diesel 10's ever had before. Or at least don't think so anyway. On any toy of Diesel 10, at least that I've seen, the claw just tends to be a static piece and the arm can't move. While the claw can open on the Motor Road and Rail one, the arm still can't articulate. So just imagine how cool it would be to have a Diesel 10 with moving eyes as per the standard Bachmann feature, and an arm you can actually move around and pose and maybe do a bit of a mixture of stop motion and live action with it. Like, that would be so cool. It'd be something I'd want to see, and most definitely. Once again, I can just imagine Diesel 10 being one of the bigger ones as well if they made him. I can really just imagine how cool it would be. What do you guys think? But of course, I can't just mention Diesel 10 without mentioning Lady as well. I can imagine Lady being quite small compared to the rest, maybe a similar size to Percy, but just how brilliant Lady would be to have, especially as, much like Diesel 10 and much like Boco, I don't think she's ever had any model kind of scale made of her in 00 or anything like that. I just don't think that's ever happened. And much like Diesel 10 and the next entry I'll talk about, she's gathered quite a bit of merchandise, but to actually have a model Lady going on the track, that would be super nice. And on the subject of the next entries, Splatter and Dodge are two characters I'd certainly love to see made in model form, because I had their ERTL toys and they were brilliant, especially as I did have quite a few of them back then. And while no official company has made them into model railway form, I've seen customs of Splatter and Dodge, and the most recent example was in Silverband's Thomas and the Rail Tour series, where I did see his custom Splatter and Dodge in one of the episodes, and they look absolutely fantastic. And basically, if the fans can make them and they're willing to, I'm sure that any of the big name companies easily could. And well, I'm sure that I'm not the only one who would pay good money to see a Splatter and Dodge being made, especially with features of the moving eyes and things like that. And now it's time to repeat myself a little, because this is a character I'd love to see get made, not only because it's a nice looking character, but because the fact that the Hornby one is quite rare and quite expensive to source, and that's Stepney. I've always been quite fond of Stepney. He's a nice character, and things have become really interesting as I got older and learned more about Thomas, and learned that not only are the engines themselves based on real engines, but Stepney himself is actually a pre-existing engine, and you can actually still see him at the Bluebell Railway. I can't remember whether he's operational or not though, but if ever you get the chance to, do go down to the Bluebell Railway and see him. I'm sure he'd absolutely love that. And as I say, the Hornby one's not so easy to come by anymore, let alone in a good condition or a decent asking price, but if Bachmann made Stepney, I'm sure they could give people a leg up there. And now it's time to go off the model series and move up to the CGI series, because if there's a character I'd definitely love to see Bachmann make, it's Hero. Now, you think Madok's big? Hero looks enormous, and just imagine that running down one's model railway. That would certainly be cool. And Hero, like most of the others on this list, he is a very good character, and I was massively fond of him when watching Hero of the Rails, and just to see Hero get made into model form, it's certainly one I'd be prepared to shell out some good money for. Now, granted, he may be a bit more expensive than even the likes of Spencer, but hey ho, I wouldn't mind. I'd really just love to see him get made into model form, because that would be brilliant. And this is my most interesting entry on the list, because while he has had a Bachmann model, it's a G-scale one, and I'm a OO/HO modeler, so to have Winston in that scale, that's one thing I definitely like. I could just imagine them maybe making him with a fat controller molded inside perhaps. Or maybe he might even just be on his own, who knows, but it'd be just really nice to have Winston rolling around. Nice little track rail car thing, going up and down around in circles, that would just be so cute, I think. And kind of the same again here, because while Bachmann have made a Flying Scotsman model, what about the actual Thomas and Friends Flying Scotsman? And unlike the Hornby one, actually make him include his second tender this time, please. That really would be much appreciated. And not only that, but if he did get made, then truly in Thomas form, in model railway form, could we have Gordon and Flying Scotsman together, both with faces? And of course talking about the second tender, which would make Henry pretty jealous, but yeah, a Bachmann Thomas and Friends Flying Scotsman would definitely be the good way to go. And this next entry would certainly look majestic as a Bachmann model. Duchess. The Royal Engine may not have been the best way to end the original series out on, but Duchess was a very nice character. I watched it with my brother and we were both very fond of her, and we've both agreed how if she was to get a Bachmann model that we'd certainly love to get that. And if Duchess was to get made, I can just see the numerous recreations that fans would do with it. Having her and Thomas side by side and just recreating the Royal Engine basically and doing their own remakes. And that would certainly be good, because some Thomas remakes I come across on here are just absolutely nothing short of amazing. And now for another interesting entry, and I do say interesting because while he was a Railway Series only character and didn't appear in the TV series, it'd be cool to see Bachmann do their own interpretation of Bear. Like, say if Bear actually did appear in the Thomas and Friends series, how would he look? And it'd be interesting to see what they do with that, and kind of take off with some creativity, really. And that'd definitely be nice, because once like Madok and Stepney once again, but he did get a Hornby model, but it's not easy to find these days, and it's definitely not guaranteed to be cheap either. So to see Bear, that would be really good, especially in their own interpretation of how he'd probably look if he appeared in the TV series. And to finish off with engines, because they've announced they're bringing Salty back into their line, it would be nice to see them bring back Harry and Bert as well, as they were discontinued some while ago, and it'd be great to see them back with maybe any updates, perhaps some new faces like how we got a Grumpy Diesel variant. And it's not like Harry and Bert are obscure or anything, you know, they're still pretty much key characters, so yeah, if you could, Bachmann, it'd be nice to see you bring them back if you could, please. And to go along with the human characters that they're making in OO/HO scale, it'd be great to see characters like Sir Robert Norramby and the Duke and Duchess of Boxford. I just really like Sir Robert as a character, and it'd be great to have the Duke and Duchess to go with Spencer. So yeah, that's my Bachmann wish list. If you're watching, Bachmann, hello. Please make all these characters if you will. That's good, lads. And what do you guys think? Would you like to see some of these characters made? which characters yourselves would you like to see get made? Feel free to share in the comment section below. And I'd love to see everyone's opinion, basically, of what characters they'd love to see get made into Bachmann form. And if you want to, you can even include what characters you would have loved to have seen get made in Hornby form before they got discontinued. So yeah, that's that one for now. I hope you enjoyed this video. I very much enjoyed sharing my thoughts with you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. But until that next time, this is Dr. Conroy signing out.